Well, the violin lessons I was getting were very good, and I was learning to play the violin. Um, Actually, was began to be good enough I could be picked up by a small church orchestra.
So
No,
how long did it take you to get to that point? That's a couple years you did that?
no, about 6 months.
You really progressed quickly.
Oh, yeah, I did. That's very easy for me.
Huh.
Anyway, remember this was a church orchestra. No, this was not a symphony orchestra.
But still, that's quite remarkable.
I did quite well, and as I did this, I of course was meeting a lot of people, including members of this little orchestra, and then that pretty soon they got offered to play in another orchestra. And the first thing you knew, I was playing in the what happened to be summertime, and I got invited to play with it was like a chamber orchestra in the park.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a place to go where you could play music in the park. The people would come out. The men would come out, the young guys come out, bring their girlfriends to listen to them. This was in the evening, and a very nice, beautiful atmosphere, beautiful park. And I just love playing in it.
So was it more typical chamber music as I would think of it, or more danceable music as well, or did you do
No,
dance?
it was chamber music.
Okay.
But people liked it then.
Mhm.
They still do, I think.
Mhm.
At any rate, that was good. That was fun. I enjoyed it. And of course, the other thing was I met members of the orchestra who would never met otherwise. And meanwhile, I was studying with Walter Hammer and beginning to study violin making.
Mhm.
So this gave me a little bit of two up things that I was doing that I enjoyed doing. And I also
But
got
did Mr.
invited.
Hammer have his own violin making studio, a place where he kept his supplies?
Yes,
So you were able to go to his place.
yes, that's where I practiced violin making.
Was that also in Portsmouth?
That was in Portsmouth also,
Okay.
yes. And he got pretty good at violin making. He didn't end up, he never ended up much making complete violins and cellos and so forth,
Mhm.
but he did end up repairing them
Mhm.
because these artists would come through uh, playing, there were a lot of artists in those days that came through and played serious symphony orchestra parts and soloists and so forth, and their violins needed maintenance, just like anything else would.
I just like remember with Gretchen just going back and forth to orchestra so much. Sometimes people would drop their cases or their instruments would get hurt just as a result of using it.
Right.
Yeah, that
So he didn't really make them so much, although he did teach me the techniques for making them and so forth.
Mhm.
But what it amounted to was that as I was in this little orchestra in the park, I got so people did have instrument damage, and I got a chance to meet some people and started out as helping them get taking either going to Walter Hammer with it or
Mhm.
actually fixing it myself, because I was, but this time I could simple things like a broken bridge was nothing.
Mhm.
And so I made a lot of friends that way, including some very nice young ladies. And that was nice because this was nothing wrong. I mean, they were just playing in the orchestra too. And so, but it was a new group of people who did not repair automobiles.
So it really broadened your
It
horizons.
really broadened my horizons. So that was good. That got me a little broader. But one other thing very important was that some of these people who had played in the orchestra in the park had an amateur orchestra which was being used by many places. And one of the members of that orchestra was a naval officer, a very tall, very dignified naval officer. And he played the bass fiddle, the big bass fiddle.
Mhm.
Now, he was a wonderful friend, a wonderful, nice person. In fact, everybody in this little homegrown chamber orchestra was friendly,
Mhm.
nice. If the girls were not wild ass girls, they were nice girls. You didn't mind taking
Well,
one
that's too
out?
bad.
Huh?
I said, that's too bad.
Well, no, it wasn't. They were easy. If you go down to the burlesque place and
Then
you
you
look
find the
for
wilder girls.
the
Yeah.
wild girl, you didn't have any trouble finding wild girls. But they were nice people.
Mm-hmm.
But I do particularly remember George Walker because, who was the name of the
naval officer.
naval officer, because when I got drafted, and I was at Aberdeen Proving Ground is where I did my basic training
For the Korean War.
for the Korean War.
Mm-hmm.
He came to visit me. That was a pretty good drive,
Mm-hmm.
but he did. He came to visit me, and
Because that was a passage of some time. Yeah, so you'd had known him quite a while at that point.
But he knew that to have a friend come and visit him, he knew it would be a good thing for me,
Mm-hmm.
and it certainly was. But I had told him, I said something about I don't have a full pass yet. I can't go off the post.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Oh, we'll take care of that. Don't worry about it." Well, so we went out to the gate. This guy's braided all over. He's a very experienced officer. Man, those guards stopped to attention. They saluted him.
You were a bit of
Never once asked me anything.
So you were a celebrity after that, I bet, with that guy coming to visit.
It was very interesting.
Now, had he been a violin player? Do you remember what he played in the orchestra?
He played bass fiddle.
They played bass fiddle, of course,
He was
bass
this
fiddle.
big, played this big bass fiddle.
Oh, that's a great story.
But it was. He just,
Aberdeen Proving Ground's a long ways from.
I said it was.
Yeah, Virginia
Now
Beach.
he may have had some military business
Business
too,
come up there.
or he may have created some just to have an excuse to come.
Well, it's nice that you and stayed in touch after that passage of time.
Mm-hmm.
That he even knew you were there. Great story.
So anyway, that's just one of the many things that happened.